In this video, we're going to visit your goals inside of Command. So here I have my goals set, and I can look at it by this year or this month, and I'm going to help you with identifying your leads, appointments, under contract, and so forth. So I'm actually going to show you how that part works. But first, what we're going to want to do is actually go to reports and set our goals if you haven't done that yet. So I'm going to go to reports here, and you're going to notice in reports, we have a dashboard, our reports, and then goals. So goals is where you want to be. Congratulations, I already have my goals set, but if I needed to set my goals, I can click the plus sign here to set my goals. This takes you through a Kelly guide, which is a wizard, to set up your goals. So we're going to get started with that. Now, you're going to choose which year your goals are for, which should be for this year. Now, what is your goal for an annual profit? Now, I had set one to originally do 100,000, so I'm going to put it back to 100,000. There we go. And what's your average commission in your area? So hopefully you know that. There's information here to tell you. What are your operating expense and business expense? I'll tell you these were based on the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So if you're going into this tool for the first time, it may have your goal set for $1 million. So you do want to change that appropriately. So I'm going to make my cost of sales my cap. And I'm going to go ahead and change my operating cost to maybe 20,000. So that's what I need. And how much of my business is going to be listings and how much is going to be buyers? A balanced business would be 50-50. So that's what I'm going to set here. So that's the first step, right? What's your goal? How much do you want to net? What's your annual profit? And we mean profit, meaning after taxes, expenses, and everything. How much are you taking home? What is your average commission price? What are your expenses for operating? And what are your cost of sales, like transaction coordinators, your splits of the market center, things like that? And then how much of your business is listings and how much of your business is buyers. So I'm going to say save and continue. Then it's going to ask for conversion rates. Now, these are already set for me, so I'm going to kind of leave them as they are. But if you know your conversion rates, you can talk to how many leads do you convert to contacts, and how many contacts does it take to get an appointment, and how many appointments do you set, and how many appointments are kept. Then how many appointments are kept and do you have agreements for, and how many agreements do you have, and then under contract to close, and so forth. So these are already set. You can see on the right, left-hand side, what are all the definitions of these. And then you're going to have this little chart showing you down to get you to the closing table. What's your conversion? Next year, this is going to be automatically set for you based on what you do in Command today. That's why it's important to start using the system and getting involved. So we're going to save and continue. And there we go. I can review my goals for this year. So if I want to net 100,000, I need to spend or make about 143,000 in GCI. Then I'm going to look at how much of my business and my conversion rates, and I can look it up by this month. So I need to do about almost $12,000 in GCI a month if I want to hit my goals, to hit my profit goals. So we're going to go to what's next, and it's going to give you some suggestions to go to Smart Plans, Reports, or the home screen. So we're going to go to the home screen. So now that I've set my goals, now I can start looking at here and see how close am I with the leads for this year, appointments, and everything that I'm doing, plus for this month. So how much of my business is going in there? So let's go back and revisit this really quick, and I'll show you how these numbers are calculated because it's not something you enter in necessarily. So we've got leads, then I've got my contacts, then appointments set, appointments kept, our agreements, under contract, and closed units. So leads is going to be in contacts when you check the box for leads. Obviously, a contact is when you add a contact. Appointments set and appointment kept and agreements, these three are actually inside an opportunity. So if you didn't create an opportunity yet for a lead or someone that you're working with and you don't mark that there's an address box there, that's why those aren't calculating. And under contract and closed is actually you moving it along the way in opportunities. So I'm going to go there in a second and show you. I've got my profit goal. How am I on pace for this year and this month to hit my goal for profit? And then my activity breakdown. So it's tracking this year and this month, everything you do in the system. So how many emails have you sent? How many people are on smart plans? How many people have set up search for neighborhoods? How many meetings have you had? How many texts or other? And that's what it's calculating to figure out your activities. Plus you can see your percentages and values. You can also do it for this year. Then you've got your conversions for this year. So how many leads do I have that lead to contacts, appointments, and so forth to get to the closing? And I can look at it for this month. And then for the year, And month on the right hand side is this nice little view that just quickly shows you how much is your profit, cost of sales, and operating expenses for each of those. So how do we calculate these? Well, first let's go to contacts and I'll show you how you can mark something as a lead. So if I were adding a new contact, so let's just say I want to add Billy Bob to my system really quick, and I can mark him as a lead. That is how the system's going to track a lead. So if I create that, my reports now know that I added a new lead, and it'll be identified with a little L next to its name. That's the first thing. Now, how does it track the other stuff there? How about our contacts? We know that one, right? When I uncheck it as a lead, now it's a contact. Appointment set, how do you do that? Well, it's actually inside an opportunity. So if I come to Billy and opportunities, and let's just say I create one really quick for this example. So I'm going to create a opportunity. Let's say it's a listing test. That's all I need to get it started. I do need a commission rate. So I'm doing the very basic to set up the opportunity, but I want to show you in the opportunity is where you find the last few options here of appointment set, appointments kept, and your agreements. So I'm going to come here, and when I come to general information, this is where that's getting that data. So if I don't have these things written in, then the system's not tracking the fact that I've got an appointment set, an appointment kept, an agreement. So that's where it's going to get some of this information in. So I'm going to go ahead and come in here and first edit these things. So we're going to come in and say appointment scheduled for, how about Friday? Appointment date will be on Friday. Agreement 1, let's just say Friday. Contract date, you get the idea. So the more that I fill in, the better it's going to help that tool. That's one thing. So I need to make sure I'm coming in here now and editing that information. So if you haven't been doing that part, because you're just doing the basics to get paid, that's one of the ways that is pulling your reports. The other is moving it along the way. So if I come here to cultivate and I see my Billy Bob listing, am I moving the card along the way? So if I move it to appointment, under appointment here, I've got my scheduled and I've got my kept. And if I move it along these ways, this is now telling me and telling the system that I've got these things. So when I go active and I come into here and we're in the pre-listing stage and I come in and edit the details there, this is what's helping the system know what are my appointments set, what are my appointments kept, how many agreements, and then when I get to under contract and closed, that's also coming. So I've got these things here. I've got my documents as we go forward, your offers. This is where you're going to be able to accept offers and move things along, right? That's where you can watch the opportunity videos on what to do with that. However, I want you to see that as I move these things along the way, this is going to help me with my goal setting. And remember, part of the process of why you're doing this is for the consumer experience. So while some of this stuff may not make sense to you as an agent and you think it's an extra step, remember, in the consumer app, this is actually guiding them through the next step of their process. So your listing and buying process is in the system based on these cards. And when you move it along the way, like we're in escrow, now we're in inspections, now we're in appraisal, your app is going to update the consumer and tell them where they're at in the next step. And you're going to make sure that you do all the checklist items along the way. So now if I come to my reports and I go to my goals and I update it to this month, you're going to see that I've got some numbers that have changed because now I've got more information in here. And this number went up from the last time when we did this. So now it's tracking my leads and everything that I'm doing for this month based on me moving the cards and moving things along the way. I did a couple yesterday and there is a slight delay. So if you don't see your data updating right away, it just might take it a few moments and then you'll have your data in there. And then on the home screen, when you log in every day, you will see your goals versus actual for this year and this month. And there you go. I can see my lead I added. I can see I've got 2 appointments and then I'm moving things along the way and we'll get under contract and closed as we move it along the process. Thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to set your goals. Follow me on KDB Connect and YouTube today.